Hi, my name is Berlinda Mensah, and I'll be presenting my graduate research on Total Rewards Program for the financially troubled company called JCPenney. This project is for HRT 6176 Compensation and Benefits Management. The agenda for this graduate research will be an introduction, hypothesis review, company overview and state of financial troubles, research methodology used, total rewards program outline, literature review, research limitation, the 21st century implications, my recommendations, conclusion, as well as references. This graduate research project is to put together a robust total rewards program that helps a financially troubled organization to attract, retain, and motivate its employees. The hypothesis of this graduate research project is to design a total compensation and benefits system for salaried management employees in JCPenney. Overview of JCPenney. JCPenney is an American department store chain that was founded on April 14, 1902. JCPenney is an apparel and home furnishing retailer, hence are typically in competition with the likes of Walmart, Target, etc. JCPenney, according to its website, employs more than 50,000 associates worldwide. As of a 2018 CNN review, which seeks to break down the financial situation of JCPenney, a few things were called out as reasons for the company's struggle. JCPenney, for starters, has gone through multiple CEOs who have assumed their positions with great zest and strategies. The only gap with the strategies they came up with, however, was that it never benefited their targeted consumers at the time, which led to these consumers having to look for alternative retailers and never looking back. A section of their consumers were also lost to cheaper alternative retailers during the recession. At the time of the CNN article, JCPenney was $4 billion in debt with a share price of $2. In a rare 2018 quarterly update, the company reported a loss of $101 million with 149 store closures. Since then, JCPenney has been trying to reinvent itself, but the lack of cash and strategy, the lack of understanding of their mission and vision, and their inability to compete against the likes of Amazon, Target, and Walmart has made this effort quite futile. The methodology will be based on two peer-reviewed journals, which seeks to evaluate whether better compensation leads to retention, as well as the effects of total rewards on employee performance. The first study is titled The Impact of Total Rewards on Employee Retention, a case of First Aluminium of Nigeria organization, written by Oluwasegun Ojediran, and Rufus Adebayo. The second peer-reviewed journal is titled The Effect of Reward Management System on Employee Performance, the Case of IE Network Solutions PLC by Esubalo Jimber. Now to the Total Rewards Program outline. This total rewards program will steer away from a one-size-fits-all approach, which is typically used by most organizations, The fact that the competitor uses it doesn't necessarily mean that the same will work for JCPenney. An employee survey will be conducted to ensure that the total rewards program is designed to meet the needs of employees at every stage of their lives. Due to the fact that JCPenney is already financially troubled, leading the market would not be a good idea. A lag option will be suggested, but the difference will be supplemented with benefits and relational returns. Thirdly, it is important to identify positions which are critical to the overall attainment of the company goals and compensate them accordingly. Indeed, all positions in an organization are important, but the key positions that are not easy to fill should have a succession plan established with a clearly defined compensation structure in place. This will be very pivotal for JCPenney since at the heart of its issues is the lack of leadership. Relational returns such as job security, employee growth, recognition, and challenging opportunities should not be downplayed, as that is a factor that sets one company apart from the other. Reading through the J.C. Penney reviews, what stood out to this graduate research student is the fact that most employees were not happy with the way they were being treated by management, and also the fact that they did not have enough and sometimes no time off at all. Measures will be put in place as part of this total rewards program to ensure that management is properly trained on effective communication. Additionally, measures will be put in place to ensure flexible scheduling. That way, those who want to take some time off to re energize can do so and return to work with renewed energy. Employees will also be given benefits mix options such as tuition reimbursement, retirement benefits, etc. Learning and growth opportunities will also be made available so that employees have something to work towards while feeling motivated in general. In addition to health benefits, mental wellness will also be prioritized to ensure that employees are in a good headspace and come to work with their best selves. Lastly, at a time when suggested strategies from the top down is not working, I will suggest that these suggested strategies come from bottom up instead, since employees, especially on the floor, most often than not, know the business more than they are given credit for. A gain sharing option will also be suggested for teams whose ideas are successful. Now to the first literature review. This peer-reviewed journal looks into whether better compensation leads to retention among employees in a company called First Aluminium of Nigeria. The other objective of this research is to examine how compensation influences attraction and retainment of employees. The population that was used for this research was 270 junior and senior male and female employees, and the method used was questionnaire. A tool called statistical package for social sciences was used. The study looks at different types of rewards, such as intrinsic, extrinsic, and total rewards being used to attract and retain. Some total rewards highlighted were salary, benefits packages, compensation, developmental opportunities, good supervision, worker appreciation, promotion, and others. The researchers highlighted a few things that could lead to turnover and disengagement, such as not being paid a value that is commensurate with one's performance, getting the right people to fill the right jobs, contract violation, and safety concerns. The research was mainly to establish that the right total rewards will lead to employee retention and attraction of high-performing employees. Inasmuch as intrinsic and extrinsic rewards are important, financial and non-financial rewards also plays a crucial role in employee retention. Financial rewards, such as bonuses, were identified as an extrinsic motivator as well as health care benefits. The research identifies that an employee's perceived organizational support, that's POS, which is the extent to which an employee is convinced of how much the company values their contribution, goes a long way to foster retention. Now, how far training can lead to retention was also analyzed. Career development was identified as a form of benefit as well. It helps to put to bear an organization's promotional plans, which in turn motivates employees to look forward to something or to work towards something. This equips the employee with the right skill for the job they are on and for future jobs as well. Compensation was also identified as a key to employee retention as it is used to attract, motivate, and retain employees. Compensation, they said, can be a form of financial or non-financial reward as it lowers turnover and increases organizational commitment. In addition, work-life balance was also identified as something that should not be overlooked as the absence of it leads to stress and exhaustion. Position correlation was identified between this and employee retention. Now to the second peer-reviewed journal. The purpose of the second research was to evaluate the impact of reward systems on employee performance. The article argued that since human resource is critical to the attainment of overall company goals, it is important for employees to be motivated to make use of all their skills and experiences in order to carry out their duties, and the reward system is what helps to achieve this. The research indicated that reward systems consist of both financial and non-financial rewards. Inasmuch as the right rewards can lead to motivation, the article indicated that inadequate rewards can lead to low productivity, motivation, internal conflicts, absenteeism, high turnover, lack of commitment, and lack of loyalty, lateness, and the upholding of grievances. The article indicated that the right rewards leads to employee commitment and loyalty as well as an increase in performance. This study examines the relationship between performance and reward systems for a company called IE Network Solution. This is an IT company based in Ethiopia. The gap that this research sets out to close is the contradictory findings of rewards on employee performance, such as findings indicating that there is no relationship between rewards and performance. The article advises that it is critical to know the reward types and systems which will support their employees, since not all rewards will be beneficial to employees. The study also established a positive relationship between promotion and performance, recognition and performance, work conditions and performance, as well as benefits packages and performance. Now to the limitation of the studies. For study one, the limitation of this research is that the sample population for the study should have been expanded to include executives as well. The other limitation is that the research only focused on one company in one country, which makes it difficult to generalize the findings to other territories, especially due to cultural differences. For study two, the limitation for it is that it only targeted one IT company in Ethiopia, which also makes it difficult to extend the conclusion to other organizations. There was also no clear distinction of male versus female respondents. Now to the 21st century implications. Gone were the days when employee motivation, retention, and satisfaction were tied to financial values. The 21st century employee, however, in addition to their salary, derives motivation and loyalty to their companies from non financial values such as challenging work, which fosters growth and innovation, flexibility in work schedule, which gives them the opportunity to spend quality time with their family, recognition through verbal praise, and thank you notes goes a long way to make the employee feel valued. Effective communication, also from top down and across, makes the environment a positive place to work while fostering openness, trust, and respect, and then feeds into the overall company culture. What is also important is the treatment of employees by their managers and top executives. This leads to job satisfaction and helps to manage the stresses that comes through work relationships. In the 21st century, when work-life balance has become a necessity, it is important to incorporate mental wellness activities and benefits into the company's total rewards program. Paid time off also will go a long way to foster a proportionate work life balance. The recommendations based on research. Most often than not, financial rewards are prioritized over non financial rewards. This should, however, not be the case, as non financial rewards play an equally important role in the lives of employees. Employees are at very different stages in their lives, so care must be taken not to generalize benefits as one size does not fit all. Retirement benefits, for example, will not serve the needs of an employee who graduated from college about 3 years ago. Benefits should be designed based on the employee demographic. Another key recommendation will be to avoid paying CEOs significantly higher, even in the face of financial crisis. It is one thing telling employees that the company is going through a financial crisis, hence the need to make cuts from top to bottom. And it is yet another thing to say that there is a financial crisis, whereas only the people impacted are the lower level employees with no reflection of the crisis in the salaries of the higher ups. Again, it is a no-brainer that when employees are happy, it is reflected in their relationships with the customer. In as much as customers are needed in order for the company to stay afloat, employees are the lifeline of the company and must be treated as such. There is also the need for employees to feel that they're being paid um, or whatever they're being paid is commensurate with their skills and performance. Employees typically compare their salaries and benefits with their peers both internally and externally. So it is imperative for organizations to pay employees what they are worth in order to avoid losing them to competitors. In the case of JCPenney, one of their biggest shortfalls was the fact that in an attempt to fix their plummeting sales, they kept bringing in new CEOs who had their own strategies that later on did not work out as planned. This could have been curtailed if learning and growth opportunities were offered to internals so that they can take over leadership roles with clear understanding of existing processes, stakeholders, customer base, etc. In addition to this, a robust retention policy will need to be put in place that includes competitive salary, education reimbursement, retirement benefits, as well as on-the-job training. Lastly, the need to focus on health benefits cannot be overemphasized. This will be inclusive of counseling, mental well being, exercises, and gym memberships. In conclusion, total rewards is more than one factor being higher than the other or staying competitive. It's more so about meeting the needs of employees, which then makes it imperative for total rewards to be designed with the needs of the employees in mind based on the employee demographics. Thank you so much for listening. And now to my reference slide.